Hey everybody, this is Justin Cussman, your instructor, and I'm uploading this little video for week 2, and I'm going to be doing this in the subsequent weeks as well to kind of help you out and walk you through some of the issues people have been having. So I'm just going to show you how to set up a Premiere Pro Workspace and import some video and get a little bit of creative cutting done. So first things first, here's your, everybody should know this, here's your screen when you walk into Premiere. You've got any project you've worked on previously on the left, and then you've got Create New Project on the right. So if you click Create New Project, we get our options. First things first, always name your files. Definitely. This is just going to be week 2 because it's just a basic week 2 file I'm going to be showing you how to work with. Always set your folder. This is really a big deal with Premiere. Make sure you set a folder and all the files you use stay in that folder. Big thing with video, just like a lot of the other, say InDesign for instance, some of the other Adobe products, when you use a file in Premiere, it links that file out. It doesn't embed it in the project. So if you move it, if you delete it, it is gone and it will break your project. So keep everything in the folder. So I'm going to set a folder for this, and I made one on the desktop just called Week 2. I'm going to select that folder, and all the other settings here are good because I'm going to be doing HD video. So I'm going to click OK. And we get our Premiere Workspace. Okay, by default, there's not much else going on here to start with. This is just our basic window workspace here, but we got to make a new sequence for anything to actually happen. So right off the bat, you go up to your File menu and you do New Sequence. Okay, and that new sequence is where you get all of your real sequence presets. So this is a big deal because you kind of sort of have to know what your camera, what format your camera caught the video in. And there's lots of formats in here. There's all kinds of different things. And this all depends on what type of camera you used. So the most common ones you guys are going to run across these days are these Hdv settings. So if you open these Hdv settings, these are kind of the generic HD video setups. And you'll notice these are pretty similar to what you see on TVs when you go and buy one. You've got HDV 1080 and you got several different kind of P numbers there, and same thing with the 720. What this is this is your pixel size. You got the 1080 and you've got 720, the two different sizes of HD video. P30, P25, P24, this is your frame rate. So different cameras will capture or different outputs, say for film and video. Sometimes like we have video and film, it runs at 24, 25, 26 sometimes. So there's slower frame rates for different output mediums and input mediums from cameras. We're going to work with 1080p30 or 720p30, 29.97 frames per second, like over here. That's your most common setting. So let's just go ahead and click sequence name here and name it. I'm just going to name it week 2 as well. Then I'm going to click OK. All right, so this is your actual sequence setup. So what we've got here, four really important windows. The source bin over here, which is where your previews show up for your clips, any clip you import, the preview will show up here. The program window on the right here is actually kind of mirrors what's happening on your timeline, which is this window down here. So your timeline, really the most important thing down here is you've got your video tracks. You have basically an unlimited number. We've got 3 by default. But here's our video 1 and audio 1. Okay, and that's going to be a playback head here, which lets us scrub through it. And we have time code here and here. Okay, and here's our monitor, our source window. This is our project bin. Now I'm just going to jump right into it because it seems silly to explain this stuff without a video in here. So how to import video. A couple people are asking about this. Easy ways. You can go File, Import. That's one way to do it. Or you can hit Control-I. Or the way I do it usually is this project bin over here where your clips show up. I double click that in the gray area here. Double click it and it brings up an import window. So I've put some video in my week 2 folder. Again, now notice what I've done here. This isn't a bad idea. I've created folders for video, for graphics, and for audio. It's just the 3 most common things you're going to come up with. I would strongly suggest you do that so that when you put these things in here, you don't have all of your clips just kind of in willy-nilly in there. Like this one, this video clip would go in the video folder, would be the idea. So now I know, here's my video clip, right? So it's easy to keep that all track. All right, click my video clip. I'm going to click open. All right, my video clip shows up down in my project bin over here. So this is what I was just talking about with these windows. Check this out. If you double click your video clip, it shows up in your source window over here. Okay, and the point of this source window is that you can actually cut video directly from this window. So check this out. I'm going to scrub. This is a band called the Geyer Street Sheiks that I shot a concert of for a little venue called the Focal Point here in St. Louis. So if I grab this playback head, I can scrub through, and and you guys will hear the little loud, the audio on this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate a clip. Here's how you do it. Pretty easy. I don't want to put this whole thing on my timeline because it's long. It's like 6 minutes long. This is just one of like 12 or 13 clips. So I'm going to zoom to a point where I know they start playing a song. Like right here. Okay. If I hit play, I'll hear him start to strum his guitar. Okay. And that's where I want that clip to start off at. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. And check this out. You can just click Mark In. Okay. These two buttons right here is what we'll work with. Mark In. Okay, notice what happens. We got dark gray and light gray. It immediately cut this portion out. So I'm not going to see that on my timeline. It starts here. And I'm just going to scrub to the end of where I think the song ends at. So here we go. It's a pretty long song. Oh, actually, that probably ends a little bit further past where my clip is. So I'm just gonna arbitrarily stop it right here, just to show you how this works. So mark out. This is say the song ends right here. I'm gonna click mark out, and there we go. Same thing. Now this is the only portion of the clip that's going to go onto my timeline. Now here's how you do it. Really easy. Once I've cut it, go right up here into your window. You grab it, click it, drag. See how it turns to a little hand? Drag, drop on your timeline into video 1. Now, this is something that's going to come up. When I shot this video, I used a video camera that shoots in something a little bit higher than 1080. So it's asking me, hey, do you want to change these sequence settings to match what your clip has? Premiere's a little bit smart about this, and so I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, change my sequence settings. And check it out. There we go. Now, over here is what's on my actual timeline. This is when I render this, it's going to show this portion. So if I hit play, there we go. I got that clip that I cut out. You can zoom in and out on your timeline, right? So here's that clip. It's about 2.5 minutes long close instead of 6. Okay, here's the really cool thing about the source window though. Say I want another piece of this, right? I could just drag my timeline down a little further, mark in, drag, mark out, drag and drop. See how easy that is? So you can cut multiple takes from one clip. It's easier to really now cut this up, and I can move these around if I wanted to and reshuffle them really easily. It's just a matter of just kind of picking your shots out of here and plugging them on your timeline from that source window. It's a pretty cool setup. It makes it pretty easy to use, and I encourage you guys to try that. So there you go. There's a little tip for you. Something that helps a little bit when you're editing some of your video. If you guys have any questions that you need answered in these videos, anything specific you guys would like to see about video editing, just let me know and I will add them into our future video casts here. I'm going to be doing one of these every week just to kind of show you some tips and tricks, some things you might not be getting out of the book. All right, hope everybody enjoys working with Premiere, and hopefully I get to see all your stuff and see how good of a cut you did this week. Have a good one.